everybody. Welcome back to my movie review series. Today we'll be discussing Whiplash. Just finished watching it, the typical thing. I wish I was fucking dead because I don't have constitutional rights, so I'm pumping out as much content as I can. I'm the victim of the most prolific crime ever. I'm a scapegoat for every group of people I've ever been exposed to. My life is utterly fucking disgusting. I get blamed for it every 2 days, 2 weeks, 2 months. So we'll be doing another movie review, give you my overall impressions and grade. After that, if you've not seen the movie and would like to, based or not based on my recommendation, you want to shut off the video because there will be spoiler alerts. We're discussing the plot synopsis and character development. Similar movies and major themes. I literally cannot express being tortured because my community will keep torturing me because that's all they've ever done to me is fucking treat me like fucking shit, man. My life is fucking wretched, man. So, the overview provided by Google. Someone have the decency and honor to fucking shoot me in the fucking head. My life is fucking terrible. It's always been fucking terrible. So it says, Whiplash is a 2014 American independent psychological drama film written and directed by Damien Chazelle and starring Miles Teller, J.K. Simmons, Paul Reiser, and Melissa Benoist. Maybe. Budget of $3.3 million to $49 million at the box office. It won Academy Awards for Best Sound Mixing. I thought this movie was fucking terrible. I honestly thought this was horrible. So that's the only overview I've gotten. It says it had a 94% on Rotten Tomatoes, 89% on Metacritic, 93% liked it on Google, and 8.5 out of 10 on IMDb. So attracted to it because of drama, music, like the underdog stories. They doubted this guy, then he plays really well or something. But this movie, to me, it was just, if you like to listen to screaming, and when they don't progress past one bar of music, that's probably about, 90% of this movie. Every line is screaming. It's just way overdone on the characterizations in just terms of the dialogue. And I'm not a person, I say fuck a lot myself, but this one was just like, what, who, why, who did this? This is dog shit. So overall, I thought this movie was terrible. If I wasn't making content, I would have turned it off. D-, it was actively off-putting. If the characterizations were all screaming, there's no real plot development, it doesn't really move on. It's not like, it's just nothing. This was just a nothing burger for me. So if you want to watch it and haven't, we'll be discussing the plot synopsis and character development now with spoiler alerts. So the movie opens up, you have Andrew Neiman, played by Miles Teller, Terrence Fletcher, played by that other guy, J.K. Simmons. And Andrew's playing, he's at this Schaefer music school, and he's in the drum room practicing his drums, and then Terrence Fletcher comes in, who's a real tough guy, and again, it did not work for me at all. It was actively off-putting the entire fucking time. And so he comes in, he's like, are you here to play? Yeah, then why'd you stop playing? And he starts and stops playing games. He's like, I didn't tell you to stop playing. And then he's like, leaves. And then Andrew's playing, and again, I don't know, he's in the freshman group or something. And then the next day, Terrence comes down and asks him to come show up at this music hall or this dorm or whatever venue to be with his core team. And so he shows up at 6 and the practice isn't actually until 9. Again, you have 3 kind of drummers, there's Carl Tanner's the first kind of drummer, he's the main person. And so they're all just this big, long, drawn-out scene of nobody playing on tempo or something, and he just keeps stopping and starting and screaming and screaming and screaming and fucking more screaming. So yeah, that's basically what happens. First big thing is they kind of go to this competition, and Carl Tanner had given Andrew his sheet music, and Andrew had set it down by a snack machine, and 2 seconds later it's gone. So Terrence Fletcher, the conductor, says, Carl, that was your fault that you lost you were responsible for those, so Andrew's going to play. And so Andrew plays, he does it pretty well, and he gets put on the core team mostly. Kind of. Because then shortly after that, another guy comes along, Ryan. So you have Andrew, Carl Tanner, and this Ryan guy all kind of battling for the main drummer. And so, oh my god, how many more days is this? How many more days do I have to try to fucking do this fucking dog shit? I wish someone would fucking end my fucking life. Not homicidal, not suicidal. I am being tortured. And the normal human reaction to being tortured is to want it to stop. But they go to this competition, he wins, does a good job. Then he goes to a family dinner, and his family's all putting down his music or something, and kind of stands up to his family or whatever. his dad Jim Neiman's kind of supporting of him, but it's just minor extra characters. And then he goes, there's this girl, he goes to the movies with his dad. He asks out this cute girl, Nicole, that's like the person that works at the movie theater. They date for a little bit, and then shortly after, Andrew breaks up with her and says, I can't be with you. I'm going to be the greatest musician ever. Just like, and this isn't based on anybody. This is just a fictional shitty movie. And so Nicole's like storms off, like, yeah, if you think I'm going to bring you down, we shouldn't be together. So then Andrew, he's got, more 30 more minutes of Terrence Fletcher starting and stopping the tempo and screaming every 5 seconds. And so they do more of that, I'm sure. And then the next thing is they're going to this other competition. They have to get there like on their own, and they have to be there at 5. And so Andrew goes there. He shows up. He's a little late because the bus broke down. He got a flat tire, and so then he had to get a rental car. Then he forgot he worked for this part after getting this big long screaming scenes of starting and stopping the tempo. And so he's really angry, like, I worked for this. I started this. Or this is my part, blah, blah, blah. And so he has to run back to try to get his own sticks to play. They left him in the car, and he gets hit by a truck on the way back. And then he's still all bloodied up, and he still gets up and runs towards, and gets on stage just in time. And so he's literally bleeding out of his head, bleeding all over the drums trying to play. And Terrence Fletcher tells him he's done. So Andrew tackles him live on stage, and Andrew gets dismissed out of this school. And so now you have this other scene where Terrence comes in before practice one time, and he's crying, and he's like, this old student got in a car accident and died. But then like the next kind of scene is Andrew, his dad, and a lawyer kind of sitting down, like, Terrence Fletcher. I think they're talking about the same student, where Terrence says he was in a car accident when in reality he hung himself because of the emotional distress caused by going to an aggressive music school. And so Andrew decides, and he's like, tell me what I need to say. And so he does that, and he gets Terrence Fletcher fired. And Andrew's like a freshman in college. And so Andrew's just kind of walking down the street, and he sees just like this jazz club. It's a jazz band like show. And so he goes in there, and he sees Terrence Fletcher playing, and they kind of sit down and talk a little bit after. And, Fletcher's like tells him, I'm no longer at Schaefer School of Music. Someone reported me, I'm not sure who, blah, blah, blah. Is kind of friendly with Andrew. And then he's like, we're playing at this festival soon. Our drummer's not cutting it. Do you want to do it? And so Andrew kind of reluctantly agrees. I don't know about reluctantly, but he kind of hesitates or whatever, and then agrees. And so Andrew calls Nicole again, and she now has another boyfriend, but he kind of just like, trying to catch back up. And she's like, I gotta ask my boyfriend. And he's like, well, you guys are welcome to come to the show if you'd like. And so they go to the show, and then right before they start, Terrence leans in to Andrew and is like, I know it was you, motherfucker, or something. And then so they're going to start off the show, and they're going to play this piece that Andrew doesn't have the sheet music for. And so Fletcher like sets him up to make him fail. He does a horrible job. He doesn't have the sheet music. Kind of runs off stage, hugs his dad, gives him his jacket, then runs back on stage, and then just starts playing. Like Terrence is talking, like, here's the next piece, and then he starts playing. I'm gonna cue you guys in. And so they play this, Caravan, and Whiplash is one of the pieces they play, and it's really much two pieces the entire movie. So it's just like, what the fuck was this movie, honestly? And so he just keeps playing, and then the grand finale is him just like continuing to keep playing for a real long time, and then they just finish off the piece. And so I wasn't sure if like Terrence was like setting up Andrew just to set him up, or setting him up because at the club before he invited him to be his drummer, he's like, the next great musician wouldn't be deterred by off-putting things or about gritty or aggressive training or whatever. And so again, Andrew's just playing at this festival, and so it's like he says, one phone, if you play well, one phone call from here, and these guys can change your life or whatever. But there's no climax like Andrew's career or anything. He's just like a college freshman that has a good performance at a jazz festival. It's like the big thing, and the movie just ends. So this was just a bunch of screaming. The characterizations were awful. The plot development was nowhere. And D-. And honestly, man, my life is fucking disgusting. I need somebody to do their job Just do their job. I'm going to be blamed the victim by my family and my community until I'm dead. It is never going to change, and I just need my money so I can leave. And the answer to that is fucking never. There is nothing I can do to feel like a fucking person, and it's disgusting. It is the most prolific torture that has ever occurred. And nobody cares if you'll just say, oh, you're depressed, or you're sad, or you're angry. I'm just being tortured, and it is uncomfortable every minute of every day, and it's been doing this my whole life. I have never felt safe, not 1 minute of one day of my shit fucking life. So I'm going to continue to fucking suffer while everybody else plays games and come all day, and everyone steals my fucking property, and then I get denigrated, disrespected every 2 days, 2 weeks, 2 months by everybody. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.